Hi, this is Heather Cole with Lodestar Solutions, and today we're going to talk about how to become a business analytics ambassador. This is someone in your organization that can really influence change, influence executives to invest in analytics and data so that they can lead innovation in their organizations. So today I'm going to share with you tips and techniques that I've learned over the years on how you can influence people in your organization through data and analytics. First off, for those of you that don't know me, I am an expert in business analytics. I do executive coaching as well as coaching with business analytics professionals. I am a self-described socialized nerd, and we'll talk about what that means. I recently launched a new website that is all about empowering you and teaching you soft skills so that you can be more influential. So feel free to check that out at heatherise.com. I tweet periodically on my Twitter account is heatherise, no D. And then here at Lodestar Solutions, we're all about people, processes, and tools. We believe that without those three components, business analytics doesn't really happen. Right? A lot of you might have shelfware, and it may be because you have great tools, but maybe the processes are broken, or maybe they haven't invested in training. So people, as you see in my diagram here, is the most important component. Today, we are going to focus all about the people, nothing about the tools, and we're going to try to empower you with some great insight on becoming a business analytics ambassador. So I created this analytics matrix. So I started to look at the different people that we deal with when we look at analytical professionals. And so I took this grid and I said, okay, let's put knowledgeable or knowledge and skill across the bottom, across the x-axis, and give it a score from 0 to 10. And then on the y-axis, let's put likability and social skills. You know, those people that you just love being around. And I started to map this out. And the first group that I came up with kind of had a jagged line there. And what I called these are the don't hires. These are the people that have very little knowledge. They may have been in this industry for a while, but they just really haven't caught on. They may not be naturally analytically minded, yet they're trying to be in a business analytics environment. And sometimes we see these people. They may be very likable, however, right? So sometimes we see people that we love. They're just great people, but they just don't catch on to analytics. So those are the people you don't really want on your team. If they are on your team, they are probably stressed out, just max in the stress category. And if you talk to them, they probably want to go back to accounting or some other area. So we don't want those people on our team because they typically, especially the low likability and low knowledge. There's another group here, and I added another line to this, that I say the danger zone. So these are the people that have low knowledge, but yet they're highly likable. Right? These are the people that you love having lunch with, and they make you laugh, and a lot of times they get by and they excel on their charisma. They know how to work the system. They know how to duck and weave. And I call this the danger zone because they are so likable. And yet they're going to hold you back over the long haul because they're not going to be able to apply a lot of this advanced technology. So watch out for those people. The next group are the, they're a little bit around the average zone for knowledge, and they can be varying levels of likability and social skills. And I call these the worker bees or the newbies. These are people that may be just coming into analytics, so their knowledge isn't advanced yet. Or maybe they've been there and they've just never been trained fully, which we see a lot. So those are people with great potential, and we want to look at how we can develop them. The next group I'm going to look at is way off to the right, and these are very high in knowledge. These are your gurus. These are like the smartest people in your class, but they are not so high on the social skills, or I say they don't pass our beer test, and I joke about the beer test, but what the beer test is it's not whether you drink or not, but whether you're the type of person I'd like to just hang out with, right, and just have a conversation. So they they might not be very high on that, but super, super knowledgeable. And I call these the go-to experts. I love having friends that are the go-to experts. I find them very intriguing, but they're a great resource to have. They're the people that when you're really in a jam and you can't figure it out, they can find the answer. And if they don't know the answer, they're so driven for knowledge and insight that they'll go find it for you. So definitely find those people, keep them in your camp. Maybe you're one of them. The next group we're going to look at is, I'm going to bulk a lot together, highly knowledgeable, and everywhere from, low on social skills to medium. And those are the analytic managers and the consultants. So that's a bulk of the people. Those are people that really start to implement analytics, but they're maybe getting stuck. And if you're one of these, it may be that you haven't found that level of influence yet, right? If you're deploying Cognos BI, for example, and you feel like you're not getting the business units to adopt to it, you're not getting the executives to really see the vision and kind of make sure that you are leading the way to be a business analytics and data-driven organization. So a lot of you may be caught in this place. We're going to talk about how to get you out of there. This next group is highly likable, highly knowledgeable, and I call those the analytics coaches. Those are the people that really love to teach other people. They love interacting with other people, and at the same time, they have really high levels of knowledge. So it's really taking it to that next level of social skills. And anybody can move in these grids. So don't think that if you're in one area, you're there for life. With hard work and with some things that we teach you today, you can move into another category. The next area I'm going to call the analytics ambassadors, high on the social skills, like in the top on the social skills, highly knowledgeable. So this is our goal for you, is to become that analytics ambassador where you can not only talk the technology and understand the technology, but you can also take it back into simplistic terms so business users can understand this. One of the tricks to doing this is using a lot of analogies and stories. And you'll see I do this all the time. When you're on my webinars and you hear my analogies, please adopt them. They are now yours. I am gifting them to you because I've learned over the years the easiest way to communicate is through stories that are not related to technology. Now there's one more group that belongs on our analytic matrix, and that is the people in the just absolute top 10 knowledge, top 10 likable and social skills. And these are just such a unique group of people that, in fact, I call them unicorns. And if you find one of these people, please grab them, capture them. I don't care if you lock them in your office, because I'd love to research them, because I have yet to find somebody that can maintain for any period of time an absolute 10 in the charismatic and likable social skills and ability to present, and at the same time keep a 10 on the technology. We are in an industry where technology changes so rapidly that really it's hard to stay even in the 8 or above range on knowledge, because you got to be constantly reading books and reading blogs and testing. So if you're someone like me, my goal is to stay above average in knowledge and really high in the social and likable. Because people that are highly likable and have a lot of friends, they also have a lot of friends that are experts. So if you're one of those people and you really have a broad network, you can pull those network people whenever you need them, because you've helped them in the past and they help you. So really, maybe that's the area that you want to strive. So you want to look at this grid and figure out, where am I now and where do I want to go? So let's look at what makes a person knowledgeable. So we're going to focus on everybody that is a 5 and above. So what makes them different? What did they do to evolve from a worker bee or newbie into this kind of more elite status? Well, the first thing I think is they have an innate curiosity. They're always wondering, how do I make this happen? How do I make this work? There's got to be a way. So start to kind of fine-tune your curiosity, feed it, because it's definitely going to help you get to that next level. You can't dismiss hard work. Hard work is one of the most important pieces in this equation. Hard work will allow you to accomplish many things, whether it's studying on weekends or listening to audio books, which I'm a big fan of. If you're not a member of Audible, go to it. It's Amazon's website. You can become a member and download all sorts of great books on business analytics, on demonstrations, on a little bit of everything. Training makes a person more knowledgeable. If your organization has not invested in training you, you're probably not going to get above a 5. And you need to communicate it. You need to go plead your case. And I like the saying, I did not create it, but someone else did. And it goes something like this. If you're afraid that if you train your people and they leave, what if you don't and they stay? So feel free to take that quote and use it with your management team, or maybe go to your HR and see if there's funding to get you training. There's all sorts of great training programs out there that will help you advance your skills and knowledge. You have to have a desire to improve. Again, it kind of circles back to hard work. Without this desire to improve, you're only going to get so far. And it takes commitment, blocking off time and saying, I'm going to work on my professional development and knowledge. I love this quote from Albert Einstein. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. When I look at hiring people, one of the things I'm really looking for is that curiosity. And the reason for that is that a person that is curious can learn anything, is provided they have a baseline of intellect, of course. But they will study it, they'll go find it on their own. Those are the people I love because they'll also be resourceful. And we'll talk about that in a moment. So now let's go to the other grid. What makes a person exceptional? And when I talk about exceptional, I'm really putting them up into this upper quadrant, the highly knowledgeable and highly likable with strong social skills. What makes a person move into that quadrant? And we should all want to be there if we want to be business analytics ambassadors. So the first thing, of course, is knowledge. You got to get past the 5 to get there. And we've already talked about how you do that. Hard work, curiosity are the 2 top ways to get there. The second thing is to be an active listener. Now, an active listener is someone who is very focused. They're 100% present when you're talking to them, and they're asking probing questions, and they're caring, and they're really trying to be part of that conversation. They're not focused just on what they have to say to make themselves look good. In fact, they're quiet. There's an expression, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. There's a reason for that. So start to fine-tune your active listening skills. When you go home tonight, whether it's your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you sit down to talk to them, or your kids, put the cell phone down. Focus 100% of your energy on listening to them and looking at them and being 100% present, and watch what happens. It will be a completely different experience. An exceptional person also focuses on others. They want others to succeed. They want to help others. And it's not all about them. I call this kind of like a boomerang. So I believe wholeheartedly that when you do something kind for someone or help someone else out without looking for anything in return, it goes out there kind of in the universe, right? And it gains momentum. And when it finally comes back to you, it comes back to you in tenfold. And I've had many experiences in my life where this has happened, where I've helped someone out maybe 5-10 years ago in business, pulled an all-nighter to help them out. And then 5 years later, they come back and they give me a bunch of new clients. And so really change your mindset to not be so concerned about yourself. If you focus on others, it will boomerang to you, and everybody else will notice it. It will also help you build rapport with those other people. Soft skills are all sorts of skills fall into this, right? The building rapport, the active listening, those are all kind of soft skills. The nonverbal communication, which some of you have heard some of my webinars on that. But they also include your presentation skills, right? Being able to read the audience as you're presenting and modifying those so you can build more rapport there. So start to look at it. There's tons of self-help books out there that can help you in these areas. What we're trying to do here at Lodestar is kind of smash together Dale Carnegie or Tony Robbins and a technologist and get it so that you guys can leverage these skills and this knowledge and be influential in your organizations. So advanced communication skills, once again, is listening, but being able to do a software demonstration. Many of you at times have to demonstrate software, or maybe you're doing training in your organization, but you never took a class. When I was in school studying computer science and finance, I never took a class on how to demonstrate software. I guarantee you, if they had that class, I would have taken it because I would have done anything to stay out of the VAX lab at 2 a.m. So you shouldn't know how to do this naturally. People shouldn't expect this of you. There are programs that can help you learn how to demonstrate software. And we actually at Lodestar are in the future, the near future, will be coming out with an audiobook on this topic. So look for that. Being resourceful, this is absolutely key. You need to know that other people may know more about something and be comfortable with that. Also know that you're going to make mistakes, and that when you make mistakes, those are learning experiences. So look around you, look at who else might be able to help you, and be comfortable asking for help. But make certain that you give credit when you ask for help and they provide it. Always give credit out and make sure everybody knows who helps you out. You must have a desire to improve, so that drive, that zest to kind of take your game to the next level and be the best. And finally, a desire to inspire and influence. So I believe wholeheartedly that data and analytics can lead to innovation. Innovation can change the world. So I believe it's time to change the world with data and analytics. So now let's talk about tips for being influential. There are definitely some things that you can start to work on today and honing your skills. And these are great little social experiments that you can do with your coworkers, with your family, anybody you engage with, actually. So the first and most important thing is going back to that knowledge statement, right? You must be knowledgeable on your subject. If you don't know something, it is very simple to go start to do research. Google is my best friend. I call it Uncle Google when I'm referencing him. So go do your research. Ask people. So start with your baseline knowledge. The next thing to know is that you cannot influence someone until you know what influences them. You got to get in the mindset of your audience and then tailor your presentation and your messaging to highlight what's influencing the audience members. You need to know your audience. So kind of know their role, their responsibility. If they're a CIO, you're going to present differently to a CFO. You need to know and focus on the communication styles of your audience. So this includes pace and process. For example, many of you that know me well know that I have a little, maybe a lot of ADD issues. I tend to have ideas bouncing around my head. I drive my coworkers absolutely bonkers because I change subjects so often, and I like things very fast-paced. So when they are trying to present something to me or in wanting to influence me, they have learned to change their pace to meet mine. So here's a true story. I had this client that the CFO was kind of new to the organization. He had been there 6 to 8 months. And they were using Cognos software, and the controller wanted me to do a demonstration for the new CFO to show him what they used and how they used it. I said, great, no problem. Tell me about this person. So I asked a lot of questions, and then the controller says, oh, by the way, little FYI, he is going to leave within 15 minutes of the presentation because I've never seen him stay for more than 15 minutes. I said, wait a minute, let's talk some more about this. So I asked a lot more questions, and it became very apparent to me that this particular individual had ADD or was wired that way, right? Maybe it was through societal influences, I don't know. But I was like, I got this. This is right in my wheelhouse. So when I went in to do the presentation, I was talking at warp speed. I was going as fast as I could. I was bouncing subjects. When he asked questions, I'd bounce around comfortably. And he stayed for an hour and a half. By the way, our meeting was set for an hour. And afterwards, the controller comes up to me and she says, I have never seen anything like that. What just happened? He's never stayed the whole time. And I said, well, it's quite simple. My ADD was either on par or stronger than his. So I was presenting to him in a style that was very comfortable to him. I can tell you when people present to me and they talk slower and they are methodical about their presentation, it drives me nuts. My brain starts hopping subjects. I can't focus. I can't listen. So understand your audience. You know, many of you have heard about mirroring, where you meet somebody and let's say they're from Texas and they talk slower than we do up north, that you're supposed to slow down your speech. Well, that is the first step of this, realizing the communication style. But also think about the person, whether they're one of those what I call cliff note people, where they want everything short and concise, or whether they're more an analytical person that wants the methodical analysis, and change that presentation. Be empathetic. Guess what? When somebody cancels a meeting on you, it might not be all about you. Okay? Maybe they got in a car accident that morning. Maybe something happened to their child. Always, always give people the benefit of the doubt. And I always say give people at least 3 tries. And then if you start to see a pattern, more than 3 times, it might become a pattern. But always have that empathetic tone in your work and how you're going to engage with people. Understand also their life, their world. So if you're presenting to the Office of Finance, do not try and set up an appointment the first week of the month. Be empathetic. They're closing their books. That's their busy time. They're crazy busy. They don't even want to talk to you. By the way, don't even leave them a voicemail. Wait till after the 9th or 10th of the month, and then you can talk to them. So that's what being empathetic is to understand your audience and feel for them in their role, in their time commitments, in their position. Now, here's the big one. Make them feel amazing. So try and have fun. Some of you are like, oh, I'm not that bubbly personality. There's other ways to do this. But if you make them feel special and significant and make them feel amazing, then you will influence them. So here's a nice quote. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. And I believe this wholeheartedly. So make it fun, make it about them. So many of you know that I am very influenced by the work of people like Tony Robbins. And my goal is to be the Tony Robbins of business analytics. And so I want to share with you his 6 fundamental needs. So he says there are also 6 fundamental needs that everyone has in common, and all behavior is simply an attempt to meet those 6 needs. And if you look at it, all of us have these 6 needs in varying degrees. What you want to look at is what people prioritize in those 6 needs. And those needs will change as well. So the first one is certainty. It's assurance. I know the outcome. I know it's going to happen. And many people have this as their primary need. They don't like surprises, right? I don't like suddenly my car to break down. I want to have certainty that it's going to work. The next one is actually uncertainty and variety. We need a little spice to life. We need a little bit of unknown, or something that is, gets our energy flowing, something new and exciting, something we've never done before. But many people put this lower in their top 6 needs. The third one is significance. This is a very important one for a lot of people, and that is feeling unique and special and important. Like, look what I accomplished. Kids, if you watch your kids, they always want to be significant. They want you to think they are the most important thing in the world. Guess what? We don't always grow out of this. And many people put certain significance as their primary need. You can tell this on how people act, right? So I have this girlfriend who, no matter what story you tell her, you're like, oh my gosh, guess what happened this weekend? And you tell her a very interesting story, she one-ups you. She always has a story better than yours. And it's really interesting to watch because she does it to everyone, not just me. And it's clear to me that her primary need is significance. She's also one of those people that always wears kind of very flamboyant clothes or something that will get people to talk to her. The fourth need is love and connection. This is a strong feeling of closeness or connection. Somebody wants to be on a team. They want a group of friends. And some people, when they really need this love and connection, they might do a lot of charity work at, let's say, the animal shelter, because pets give us that unconditional love, right? So that's people that want to be part of the group. The fifth need is growth. The need for expansion and capacity and understanding and always learning, right? An easy way for you to tell if a person is a growth-oriented person is if they are an avid reader, if they're listening to books on tape, if they're always reading a book and they're saying, oh my gosh, this is the best book, read this, and they're always making book recommendations to you, then that person is growth-oriented. And by the way, yes, that would be me. That would be one of my top two. The sixth fundamental need is the need for contribution. And this is someone who has a sense of service. They want to help others. They want to support others. And these people, truly put others first. A lot of people that have this work in charitable organizations. This is actually a less common need. So if we looked at these needs and you look around you, what you'll probably find that most people have certainty and significance as their primary ones. And by the way, these can change. These can change in a nanosecond. So for example, let's say my primary needs, which they are growth and contribution. And suddenly I go to the doctor and I have this test and they come back and they say, the tests don't look good, but we're not sure, there might be something wrong. Suddenly, my need for certainty just popped to the top of my list because I'm freaking out that I'm dying or something like that. So just know that these kind of ebb and flow. But if you understand someone else's primary needs, you can change how you present to them, how you talk to them, and in essence, how you influence them. So when you're focusing on your audience needs, first do your research. Go find out what their needs are just by watching them, listening to people that they work with, maybe even Googling them and finding out, read them about them on LinkedIn and you'll find a lot. If somebody has 1 million of awards listed and all these, recommendations, they might be someone of significance, or maybe there's someone of contribution and they keep trying to help people. So do your research on people, look around, and try and identify their primary needs. So before you're meeting with them or having a presentation, look for those clues prior to your presentation. The most common needs of business executives, in my opinion, this is completely my ideas, my thoughts, are significant. So that's why they climb the corporate ladder. They wanted to be important. They work very hard. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They want to be a leader. And so when you're trying to work with these people, look at what they've said. Consider quoting them in your presentation. So if I went to a CFO and I said, hey, what would be the effect of business analytics if we could do X, Y, and Z? And they said, oh my gosh, we'd be able to, increase our profitability by 5% in the next 3 months. And they went on. And I quoted them directly. And then I was giving a presentation and I went to them and I said, hey, I have this quote that I wrote down. Do you mind me using it in my presentation? They're going to feel very important no matter what their role is. And then when you quote them, they will feel even more important. So play to their kind of ego, play to that significant need. The second most common need I see in executives is the need for certainty, especially in the Office of Finance. We do not like surprises, especially at month-end time, right? They don't like earnings surprises. So they are all about certainty. And when we are talking or presenting to someone with certainty as a primary need, we want to give them a roadmap of how you will execute your plan. Make sure you take out all of the uncertainty. You want to give them the cost, the cost justification, ROI that you're proposing. You want to tell them what resources you need, what business partners you're going to partner with, and make sure you map that out for them. If they're a Cliff Note person like myself, make sure you give that roadmap in Cliff Notes, but have the details below it for when they want to drill down. So make sure that you really look around at the people you're presenting. If these are their two needs, primary needs, leverage some of these tools. Let's just say hypothetically they were a person like me that growth was a primary need. Then what you could do is say, hey, this will give you an opportunity to really start to leverage data, and we'll teach you how to do that. We'll teach you through dashboarding. That would play to their growth need, right? The uncertainty person, which we don't see a lot of in analytics, those are people that you want to say, hey, this is going to be a whole new exciting experience for you. You'll be able to learn this new software and do all this great stuff. And so they'll like that excitement. Okay, so here's your call to action. I want you to write down the names of 3 people you'd like to influence. Your next step is you're going to do your research on these people. Go to their LinkedIn, maybe talk to them, maybe talk to their coworkers, and find out what you think their 2 top needs are and write those down. And your next step is write down how can you meet those needs. When you're presenting, how could you make sure you incorporate something that communicates to them what those needs are. Remember, if you have no clue what their needs are, significance and certainty are the top 2. Next, write down their communication style. Do they like Cliff Notes, or are they more a methodical person where they have to go through all the steps and slowly go through it? Once you've written that down, you want to write down how you're going to adjust your presentation and communication style to meet them. This could take practice. If you are not naturally someone like me that goes really fast and the ADD kicks in, and you are presenting to someone like me, you need to practice your presentation. Do it at warp speed. Yeah, and be comfortable. Know your topic so well that know that person is going to bounce you all around. And you need to be able to adapt to that kind of rapid fireness, but at the same time corral them back in. So practice this, write these down, use this in your next meeting on where you want to do a little influence, and play with this. Try this on your spouse and see what you think their needs are and try and communicate how you can help them meet those needs. And you'll start to experience these social experiments and you'll find out they work. Okay, so a couple of housekeeping items. Don't miss out. We want to make sure you all understand we are in the transition to a new system to blast you updates on our webinars, our user groups, all of it. So if you've been getting our emails for years and years and years, guess what? Unless you go to our website and sign up or click the link that you might have gotten in an email recently, you will be no longer receiving updates. So go to our website, lodestarsolutions.com, and simply go to the Join Our Community area. Put your name and email address. That will send you an email automatically. When you open that email, there'll be a link. You have to then click the link, and then you will be officially in our system and part of our community. So the next thing I want to talk about is another upcoming event, and this is going to be held on September 15th in my beautiful hometown of Chicago. And if you've liked this presentation, we're going to go into it in even deeper and give you better tools and techniques on how to inspire executives with business analytics. The second session of our workshop will be how to leverage personal analytics. This will be a hands-on workshop that is powered by Cognos Insight, and we'll also teach you how to use that in your messaging to influence and be an ambassador, so you can go out to areas like marketing or finance and teach them about personal analytics. And then finally, at the end of the day, we're going to do something that is for Cognos clients only, and we'll do a review of the Cognos licensing changes that have happened, especially affecting BI, and then we will get specifically the results on how they impact your organization. So you have to sign up and let us know that you're going to attend that. We'll pull your entitlements, and we'll walk you through what you own now. The second event I want to make sure you guys all know about is Cognos Insight, or IBM Cognos Insight, formerly known as IOD. It's in Vegas again, shocker, October 26th through the 30th. If you sign up before October 3rd with our code, which is G14 Lodestar, take away the A, then you will get $100 off your registration fee. My tricks on IOD/Insight is book your hotel rooms early. If you think you're going to have to bail, they do have a cancellation policy. I think it's a week before. Register for your sessions early. They fill up and you will miss the really good ones. Wear comfortable shoes. Bring Advil and Band-Aids because you will get blisters. And I just always say a red eye home is never a good idea. I did this once, never again. And finally, please come visit us at our Lodestar Solutions booth. We are the Pirates. If you didn't know that, we are always the people that dress as pirates, being from Tampa Bay, the home of Gasparilla and the Pirate Festival. To register for these events, just go to lodestarsolutions.com, click the Events tab, and you will find all the latest and greatest information. That is the end of our presentation, and if you'd like to connect with me directly, here's my contact information. You can email me at hcole@lodestarsolutions.com, or you can check out our website, give me a call. I'd love to connect with you and get your ideas. I'm really excited to announce that I've just launched a new website called Heatherized. We like to joke about getting Heatherized. It's a combination of Tony Robbins and technology. And that new website has all sorts of new videos, blogs. Love your comment on it. So please check that out. If you want to get on the mailing list for that website, that is a software agnostic website. We won't be talking Cognos specific sites there, aspects there. But you do need to register for both groups on the Lodestar Solutions website and Heatherized to get both updates. So thank you very much, and everyone have an amazing day.